Hey everybody, Brian Zane here, along with old Egghead, J Biggs, and Jay. That SummerSlam feeling is in the air.
Oh yeah, it is. That's right.
Las Vegas, it's already hot enough there as it is. It's going to get even hotter on Saturday with SummerSlam at Allegiant Stadium, the rare Saturday pay-per-view. That is still throwing me off.
Yeah, it does. Even when I was doing my review this week, I kept saying, oh, the pay-per-view this Saturday.
Sunday. You mean TakeOver 36 on Sunday, Jay? Since it seems we are all read everything, it's only fitting that the first match we talk about is Eva Marie versus Alexa Bliss. Now, Jay, you've been following this a lot closer than I have, so I gotta ask you.
Wow.
In a couple of words, what's your opinion on the Alexa Bliss storyline?
I was literally just singing in my head when you were talking about SummerSlam Jam, you know, from the Superstars album, and then it went, as soon as you freaking said that.
You hear,
you get the visual. You get the visual. This is just a shit match to throw on the pay-per-view. I mean, we don't have Apollo Crews or Kevin Owens or, you know, Shinsuke Nakamura getting having to defend the belt or anything. I mean, we have nothing like that going on, but we've somehow come up with this match on SummerSlam.
Yeah, we're going to get a lot more spooky stuff, because remember when the thing last time, Alexa hypnotized Nia Jax, made her move her arms around, and she did a big scream, and she made Nia scream. I feel we're going to see a lot of that happen again, because we saw a bit of the hypnotism teased this week on Raw, so you better believe Alexa is going to find some way to control Piper Niven, Doudrop, what have you, and something's gonna happen.
I hope this is the beginning and the end right here at this pay-per-view as far as matches, because
I hope the show just shuts down for this one match. We're just done.
Like it's just cut. Program sucked.
I think this match, it's gonna be goofy and spooky, creepy and ooky. I think that we're gonna get. It's just gonna be stupid. And it's gonna be really interesting to see how the fans react to it.
I'm gonna reach through my screen and just completely choke out creative if this match goes all the way to Hell in a Cell or something. I'm serious.
Yeah, but I mean, you were mentioning something in the last couple of reviews about the relationship with Doudrop and Eva Marie, and you've been kind of thinking, and we've been thinking about this as well. This relationship can't last. Something's gonna happen.
It's gonna implode.
This feels like the implosion is gonna happen. Where if my fantasy booking comes to fruition and she does get hypnotized and beats up Eva Marie or something, right?
Right. No, that's exactly what I'm thinking is gonna happen. But here's the thing about it is that Doudrop really should be turning into this gigantic face.
Yes,
right?
She should be a face.
Well, yes, but even though Alexa is, I guess, playing the face and all this too, I mean, it's not the kind of face like that super face. So it's kind of weird that Piper's gonna be, or Doudrop, whatever the hell, that she's gonna be moving into that face positioning, but it's gonna be with a spooky, creepy side to it. I think it could be better another way.
All right, now, Biggs, we have probably dedicated more time talking about this match than
the actual match.
The match is going to go. So, with that out of the way, who's your pick to win this thing?
Oh, Alexa Bliss.
All right, I agree, Alexa. AJ Styles and Omos, they've been the tag team champions on Raw since WrestleMania. And it's hard to believe it's been that long, but they're going to be facing a monumental challenge of RK Bro. Randy Orton and Riddle have reunited, and they're challenging for the Raw tag titles.
I called this match 2.5 months ago. Did I not?
Feels like it. I mean, Biggs, what do you think about RK Bro? They seem to be one of the more popular things about Raw right now.
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool. I mean, Randy Orton came around finally this week, and went in for the hug.
I think that Odd Couples almost always work, especially when there's one character who's historically kind of a deadpan character, someone who doesn't get to show off emotion or arrange that much. And Orton's that guy, and Riddle is so head in the clouds and goofy, but still he can kind of cross that line between being funny and being serious in the ring, that I think is a really good dynamic. It's probably, I think, one of the better Odd Couples in recent memory, I would say.
Oh, definitely. I mean, this is Kane and Daniel Bryan status.
Feels like that sort of thing.
Yeah, there's other pairings I'm just for whatever reason not thinking of right this moment. But yeah, there's been great pairings like this, and I think that the two of them have a pretty good chance actually of winning the tag team titles.
I mean, at this point, there's no reason for AJ and Omos to even have those belts. There's not been a reason for that since Mania, let's be honest. So I just think that this is going to be kind of an easy one to predict for me, and nothing gets Odd Couples more over than they win the championship gold, and how are they gonna, whoa! So I think that RK Bro are gonna win this one and be the new Raw champs. 2/3 of 3MB locked in a bitter battle, and Jay, this all started over a sword and a motorcycle. I'm talking about Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal, grudge match for the ages.
Hold on, it didn't quite start over that. It started because when Jinder Mahal was out, he never got a call from Drew McIntyre, remember?
That's right. It all started over a missed phone call.
A missed phone call. That's, oh my gosh. Angela the Sorcerer's Stone.
This feels like a bit of a drop-off for Drew. I mean, I know I wasn't thrilled with him being in the main event all the time, but then to go from like, it's either him moving way down or it's Jinder moving way up. I don't think it's a combination of the two.
I think it's like we were talking about last time, how Jinder just kind of like on the This Week in Regret podcast, we were talking about Jinder, how he, it seems like he either comes in hella hot really quick all of a sudden, or he's just getting beat all the freaking time.
He's been super hot and cold for the last like 5 years.
Veer and Lanky aren't even, they're banned from ringside. I'm sure they'll show up now.
Oh yeah, they'll find they'll dress as like concession
drag or something.
Concession workers. They'll have a big
a big everything. Can you imagine Lanky like standing out in the crowd? Like everybody'd see him
hiding behind like the cotton candy tree, just like. So what is your pick for this one, Jay? Any doubt as to who's gonna win this thing?
I would say McIntyre better win this one or something. He's really fallen out of grace with booking somehow.
It feels like a slam dunk. Like it's an angle guaranteed for McIntyre to win and to regain momentum after losing the title and whatnot.
I will say this: I do think it's a shame that they have not somehow brought back Heath Slater to do the referee job in this match.
If this goes one more month, then yes, I think Heath Slater should come back for a one-off
and just
get
get
a ref or something. Sheamus defends the U.S. Championship against Damian Priest. And Jay, as the resident Raw reviewer, I know you're watching the U.S. title scene very closely. And I know that Sheamus was worn out with all those hard-fought battles against Humberto Carrillo and Ricochet for 8 months.
Poor nose, man.
So now, I guess I have to ask you, what are his odds against one Damian Priest?
Well, I mean, if he keeps the face shield and Damian Priest keeps using the brogue kick, I mean, maybe pretty good. Oh, yeah. But, I mean, if he can hit a broken arrow or something on, he'll be okay. Yeah. I would say that Damian Priest needs to win the championship. It's time.
It just feels like, not only Sheamus has been spinning his wheels for the longest time as champion, it's like...
Just like The Miz.
What has Damian... Speaking of which, what has Damian been doing except feud with The Miz since January? That feud started in January with Miz and Morrison and Bad Bunny, and then Mania happened and it was great, and then Damian just kept fighting Morrison and The Miz for months, as recently as this past week.
Right. So everything from the zombies on.
It's madness. And so I think Damian needs to get this championship and get the fuck away from everyone else involved in the scene right now and do something else, because he lost a lot of steam after the Bad Bunny match. Yeah. And so I just feel that this is kind of a needed change of pace.
Well, we said before Raw, how good of a bring up from NXT was this. They've done it well for Damian Priest.
We said that,
But boy, we jinxed it.
Early in the days of the podcast, we said that, and now, of course, podcasts can be dated rather quickly, some quicker than others.
I would hope that Damian Priest wins the belt. That's my hope, and I think that's the direction they're going to go.
That I will also agree with you on that one, and Sheamus will give the championship, and maybe the faceplate as well, over to Damian Priest. For the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, the Usos will defend against the team they beat for the belts last month, Rey and Dominic Mysterio. Jay, you've been following the story for a while, and before we started rolling on this, you gave me a little interesting theory based on what we've been seeing on SmackDown lately.
Yeah, it seems like Rey's kind of like, doing you got to do better, Dominic kind of stuff, and I'm trying to figure out, is this going to push him away or is this going to motivate him to be better? I'm not sure. So, I mean, could we see a heel Dominic? I mean, it's kind of funny. I
think Dominic would be the least convincing heel. I mean, how could you boo that baby face, that punum? I'm gonna say the Usos retain and just keep their thing going for a while as part of the bloodline or Roman Reigns' tribe or whatever they call it these days. What do you think?
I think it's going to continue the storyline that I'm talking about between Rey and Dominic, where there's just some confusion there.
So you think there's going to be a heel turn, or you think there's going to be some
No. I think Dominic's probably going to mess up somehow. Okay. Rey's going to have to, the next few weeks, try to teach him to do better, and we'll see if it pushes him apart or pulls him together.
The turn might, if there is a turn, it wouldn't happen here, but it'd be down the line. I get what you're saying. In what has the potential to be match of the night, or at least a darn good one, you got Edge versus Seth Rollins. This is going to be an interesting kind of battle of generations, it seems. Two guys who are highly regarded as like the workhorses, or having been the workhorses of the company at one time or another. What do you think so far about the Edge-Rollins rivalry?
I'm excited for the match. I've been saying that, just like you said, this is probably going to be match of the night. And I haven't been super excited for other Edge matches. So, and where do they go? I honestly don't know how to pick the winner here. I'm just going to be real with you. I think that probably Edge. Just be,
it feels like kind of Edge is in that mode where it's like he's gonna win you win certain matches, but when it comes to the big ones like titles and stuff, like that's not his role right now. But like he can kind of get over in these bigger ones too. I don't know because has Seth had many notable wins since he came back from paternity leave? I know he beat Cesaro in one match in their feud. I forget if he won the whole thing with him.
No, and not really.
Not much. So it's like
thinking about.
Both Edge and Rollins have been kind of in this position where neither of them have wrestled a ton, and I'm sure they could both benefit from a win. So I don't know. It's tough for me to pick because I could see Edge winning because it's Edge and whatnot. But I could also see Rollins pulling off another sneaky Bastage win. So I don't know.
Is Edge part-time or is he full-time? And I guess that's what my question. If he's part-time, then I think it makes sense for Rollins to win, maybe give him a concerto.
Honestly,
or something
everyone
like that,
everyone feels they're part time now because there's people who just come and go for weeks on end, and there's no explanation as to why they're gone. So I kind of call that
Toni Storm.
I call that part time. Yeah, she feels like part time right now. She's there and she's gone. So I don't know. If I had to go with my gut, I would say Rollins wins.
That would, I'm going to go with Edge.
All right, our first disagreement, all video. In a match that was rumored to be in jeopardy, but now, just before we start recording on this video, it is on, and it's on like Donkey Kong. Sasha Banks challenging Bianca Belair for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Right.
And Jay, I'm excited about this match a lot because of how well they performed at WrestleMania. It seems like a match like this at SummerSlam. The timing just feels right.
Yeah, the match was good at WrestleMania, so I think it's going to be a good rematch, but I don't know. I can't say I'm super excited for this match myself, just because, it's just been kind of the build-up with Bianca. She's a great face, she's a great worker and stuff, but it's just like, it's every week, it's like, she's been champion 90 days. This week, she's been champion 97 days. The next week, she's been champion 105 days.
They love stats. They love stats.
I think the match is going to be good itself, but the feud just feels like out of nowhere for me. Because they could have built Zelina Vega up to be a single star to take her on. They could have, but they fucked her over the last
month.
Yeah, I guess so. And so they could have done that. I think that was probably, the end for what's her name, the
Carmella.
Carmella, yeah. I don't think that should have gone on any farther. So just to me, it seems like they're throwing her in because Bayley's injured. And
yeah, I feel Sasha coming. Well, it's like I felt they accelerated Sasha coming back and turning heel like all in one episode. It just seems like that could have been stretched out a little bit. I don't know, but I think besides that, it feels like it does feel kind of similar in some ways to the WrestleMania build, where it's like I'm the best. No, I'm the best, and that's pretty much it. So maybe the build hasn't been great or as good as the matches themselves. The match itself was, or the match itself could be. But I think it's still going to be a good one. I think that Sasha is going to regain the championship. That is my bold prediction. I think that Bianca can chase it again. But I think right now, I think it'd be more interesting if Sasha won the belt back.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe. And I did say on the review last week that she could be the leader of like a heel stable even now of females.
She seems to have she had Zelina and Carmella kind of help her out a little bit this last week. So, that's possible. But, who do you think's going to win the championship?
I'm going with Bianca, but yeah, I think it would be more interesting if Sasha won.
Raw Women's Championship match in a triple threat as Nikki ASH defends against Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley. Jay, I gotta tell you, hearing the results for Raw this past week made my head hurt. The fact that Nikki ASH basically lost twice. She lost a singles match, then she was the non-person who got involved in the tag team match, but she still is the losing team. And Rhea Ripley wrestles twice, loses one, wins one, and Charlotte just stands tall at the end. What are we doing?
It's so weird the way, we talked about this with Charlotte, the way that she's been booked lately. At least she must be in good graces because she looks strong on Monday, that's for damn sure. But boy, it seemed like on Friday.
No show in the
Charlotte show that she was booked for the main event for weeks in, and then she ends up in Mexico with Andrade and Rick. Yeah. So, whatever. Maybe there's something going on there. But I just think what it is they're trying to make it look like somebody could take the belt off of Nikki, but my personal prediction is I don't think that Nikki's going to lose.
What do you think about Nikki as champion? Because I feel there's been like a really swift backlash since she got pushed as Nikki ASH, because people crapped on the gimmick at first, and then when it came out, oh, well, she actually came up with the gimmick. People kind of backpedal on that, but like there seems to be still this kind of like, it's almost like, oh, we don't like people who are trying to be pure baby faces, so he's got to shit on them. Because, she's just trying to be nice and be motivational and inspirational. It's like, we don't like that. Boo, misery only.
I think it's because of how it comes off and what she says. I mean, everything just seems very scripted. Because if you took someone like that and put them in real life, you'd be like, this person needs to go to a padded room. They think they're a superhero.
Well, it's like, not only is it overly scripted and kind of cheesy, it's also she's not booked very strong. Like, how many matches has she won since winning the championship?
I don't know.
She's just been kind of like, it's one of those like really shitty circumstances where it's the babyface champion who's also an underdog and no one expects her to win, so people like don't believe, which is like the opposite of what you want with a character like that.
Right.
I agree that Nikki's going to find some way to hold on to the belt at this one. Like Charlotte and Rhea are going to slip on a banana peel or something, and Nikki kind of comes out winning.
It's going to be a quick roll up out of nowhere, I feel like.
Yeah, small package or something.
Right.
Figure 4.
We've got to get to eventually the superpower or the superhero versus the supernatural. That's got to come, right?
Alexa versus Nikki, battle of like, and they're former friends and everything.
Right.
So that'd be kind of fun. But I think this match is just, it's gonna be Nikki winning. I hope that people can turn around and kind of like come to embrace Nikki as a champion, because it's unfortunate.
She's a good wrestler.
It's unfortunate how she's booked is all. Robert Lashley defends the WWE Championship against William Goldberg. Yes, I'm using the proper full names for both men.
I do get a lot of people that aren't very happy about it, but I kind of shit on it. But now I'm telling you, I'm even less interested that they've got Gage involved. I mean, like it's almost like they're setting it up. Well, because Goldberg isn't gonna like die off into the sunset. He's gonna ride off into the sunset if he's Goldberg, right? So so I'm sorry, but if the kid's involved, he might be winning the belt.
Yeah, you think Gage is going to be involved at some point? Like they're like maybe flip him over the barricade, like they're going to get him.
I hope not. I mean, unless Dominic Mysterio runs down and they've got a new legacy they're forming. I did.
How terrible would Lashley look to lose to the guy that Drew beat at the beginning of the year? I don't like that. The prospect of Goldberg at this point winning the championship makes no sense. I don't think that would be a good move. Let's just say.
Right.
You can fuck around with the Universal Championship and make him the blue belt winner all you want, because that belt's still kind of young. But it's like, no, don't mess with this one, man. That's all I'm saying.
Right. I think Bobby Lashley's just been booked so strong, and he is to the point finally. Like for many years, it was like, oh man, this guy could be someone who takes on Lesnar at like Mania.
He was on the precipice for a long time, yeah.
And then all of a sudden he started falling off, and he was Intercontinental title only and stuff, for a while. And I was like, geez, this guy looks like main event material. Now he's finally main event material in the WWE after all these years, and I hope to God they don't just bring Bill in and just
bulldoze him.
Oh my God.
I think that it's like Lashley. I mean, they're putting him with these main event matches and stuff, so they clearly believe in him. So, but I think that Lashley's going to retain here. I just don't. It makes no sense for Goldberg to win, and that's a hill I'm willing to die on. I think. What about you, Jay?
Yeah, I want Lashley to win. I mean, if anything, I still think we never from Mania 36 we never got Goldberg and Reigns, which was supposed to happen, but didn't. So I still think that's a match they need to keep in the back of their mind as something they can hold for a Survivor Series.
Money's still on the table for that
something.
One.
Yeah. So if Bill loses, which he should, I do think it's going to be some sort of a kabuki finish where MVP gets involved. Maybe his kid accidentally hits him or something. It's not going to be a weak. Like he's not going to just all of a sudden submit to the Hurt Lock.
I think Gage's going to hit a spear on MVP or something.
Oh, dear God.
Well, it's time for the main event, or talking about it at least. Roman Reigns defending the Universal Championship against John Cena. And that's a money match. I mean, that match is going to create some of the biggest reactions, I think, in the entire show. What are your thoughts about this matchup?
Well, as long as they don't let the show go 4 or 5 hours, it will be. Because otherwise people would just be like, I'm ready to leave.
Nice tight 3 hours is what we're shooting for.
Right. You know what? I love the unscripted back and forth. Lots of cheap shots at each other. Mm-hmm. They're keeping it real. It's an interesting fact right now that John Cena was booed for so long, and then all of a sudden now he's like the biggest babyface you've ever seen. Roman Reigns is getting... Finally, he's in the position where he should have been the whole time too.
You know what's interesting? You talked about the war of words they had last week on SmackDown, and the last time they did that for their match at No Mercy many years ago, how like Cena ran circles around Reigns in that altercation, and like made Roman look like a total jabroni. This one, Reigns was able to hold his own, and like he was a grown ass man now, and he was like able to kind of go shot for shot with Cena in the promo department, which I think helps. I mean, that alone, more than the match ever could, I think, is going to go a long way in legitimizing him even more as like an all-timer top guy now, if he hasn't already been in that position or considered. There's going to be a lot. Spot, rest, spot, rest, spot, rest. I think that's what a lot of this match is going to be. I feel there's just memories of like Cena and AJ Styles at Money in the Bank, and that was basically what that match was. I think we can get a lot of that here, because they're both big dudes who have big time moves and lots of rest time and stuff, but it's going to be very dramatic, and I'm very excited to see how this one turns out. Who do you think is going to win, Jay?
Roman Reigns absolutely has to, in my opinion.
I think Roman's going to go 2-0 on John Cena and will retain the big blue belt. But those are just our thoughts for SummerSlam, folks. What do you think is going to happen on Saturday night? I have to keep you up. It's in my phone. Saturdays. Keep reminding me. So, Jay, you will not be here for SummerSlam.
Right.
But he will be here for TakeOver. So, Saturday night is just going to be me reviewing SummerSlam. And then Sunday, the two of us will be reviewing TakeOver together. So, stay tuned for those. And if you haven't seen my TakeOver predictions, check that out in the NXT review that dropped earlier this week. So, for Jay Biggs, I'm Brian Zane, and we'll see you next time.